2-minute wait. Participants are joining.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. Hello.
Okay, shall we start, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
All right. Am I clearly audible, ma'am?
Audible, audible.
Thank you. Good afternoon, participants. I am Jay Patel, working as an assistant professor in design department, Banasali Vidyapith. I'm so pleased to be part of this faculty development program and to have the chance to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. V. Ramesh Babu. He is an associate professor and head Department of Textile Technology at Kamaguru College of Technology, Coimbatore. He has 10 years of industrial experience in garment field in various domains such as industrial engineer, merchandising, apparel production, and quality. He has a great understanding of education and he has 16 years of experience in engineering education teaching in the field of teaching and textile and apparel. He published more than 30 research papers in Scopus journals and conferences. Besides that, he fetched a grant of around 39 lakhs and published 3 patents so far. Moreover, he published the book on industrial engineering in apparel production, home furnishing, fashion marketing management in Woodhat Publishing. Finally, he is also just a dynamic person and we would like forward to having a great learning experience. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Dr. V. Ramesh Babu. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much for a wonderful introduction. Once again, my sincere thanks to the management of Banasali Vidyapith and the coordinator of this program, Dr. Kavita Chaudhary, for inviting me as a speaker in this AICIT Atal FDP. So, can you give me option to share my screen so that is not enabled? Yeah, thank you so much. So now can you able to see my screen and I'm audible enough?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, Okay, okay. So very good afternoon to one and all present here. And I see around 100 participants are here. So I hope after the lunch it will be a very difficult task for me and as well as for you to take the section for further. But I try to make interactive. So I have some tools. So we can use the tools and that tools will be useful for you and for teaching your students also that will be useful. So in this slide, you can see the title of the slide, writing a winning proposal and my name and everything. On the corner, you can see some code letters, right? WKOLHK. It is visible there.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now I request all the audience persons to open a Chrome in your mobile or in the laptop and type joint join jointpd.com.
So repeat again, join what?
Yeah, I put up in the chat box, so you can see that. So chat is not enabled for me. So open your browser and type this jointpd.com. If a page opens, you type that code with what I have said. So that also I'll type in the chat box. So that is WKO, then LHK. If you do that, it will take to one page where it asks about how you feel like that, and you skip that page and we get the front page of my PPT. If you are getting that page, then we can continue the presentation. If you have any trouble, let me know. So
Hello, sir. What is the code, sir? What is the code?
code, it is on the left hand right hand corner, WKOLHK. You can see now WKO.
Small or capital?
Small letters, it is visible in the screen, sir.
Yeah, so your presentation is there when we enter this code.
So 20 students are connected with me right now. So there are 100 people, another 80 more has to be connected. So try, it will be working out. If there's any difficulty, let me know. Okay, people are joining, so let them join. If they are not joining also, there is no issue. So anyway, the slide going to be visible for you. So I continue my presentation from here. Okay, fine. Okay. So this is once again a very good afternoon. So this is the tool very effectively will be used for teaching the students to interact with them. So most of the time we use this sort of tools to make online class lively. Okay, that is the objective of using this kind of tool. As our topic of the FDP is research, so always we should be in the research mode whenever you're going for teaching and learning thing. So every day, every classes should be some uniqueness, some innovations should be happen. Then only we can get the attention of the audience or students. So that's why always I explore this kind of tools. That is one of the tools I use frequently to my class to get interacted with the students. Okay, from here we can start. So writing a winning proposal. So as the title says, it doesn't mean that every proposal I write, I'm going to win that proposal, I'm going to get the fund. Okay, I am also like you, I am also trying for proposals. I'm writing the proposals, sending for the funding agencies. So I'm also getting filed, and again training for the funding. Okay, so here because of this, people should not think that I'm well versed in writing the proposal, and every proposal I'm making it has get funded. Only I'm going to share my experience through this forum. What I learned, what are the positive things, what are the negative things, what should not be done. So this kind of things will be another 2 hours we're going to be interact. So that is the purpose of just sharing my experience in this topic is my objective. Okay, so now writing a winning proposal, that is the title. So what is the problem which stops to get the funding? Okay, whether the fund is the problem or getting a fund is the problem, that is the question. So okay, what is the problem? Okay, now I've given this problem statement. Now as a student you can answer me in your boxes. There will be boxes will be there, you can answer what may be the problem for getting the fund. Whatever thoughts were coming to your mind, you can just type in the boxes. So let me know your answers. Preparing is the problem. Research topic is not new. Not aware of about funding. On no proper communication. Quality of the topic. Narrowing down. So these are the answers I'm getting from the audience. Don't know the funding bodies. Okay, so don't know the funding bodies. There is no new research topic. Deciding on the topic itself become a problem. Okay. Availability of materials, that is non-availability of materials required for writing the proposals. Authors' publications are weak. Writing for proposals, just the college is asking to how many proposals submitted in the year. So we are writing the proposal just for sake of the college. So that is one of the very good answers given by the audience. Research methodology, minimum number of what? Unable to source data due to pandemics. So this is the pandemic is right now is existing, but we are talking about this problem not only now, from since long decades. Writing the proposal is becoming a problem for us. So now current scenario, the pandemic. See, in the pandemic only we get lot of time. We can do lot of time can spend the research in literature and all those things. Okay, fine. So there are so many answers is flooded. So more or less all the answers are on the way it is correct only. Okay, we can see what might be the real reason. Okay, so here the problem is, you can see the next slide. There are a lot of funding agencies, n number of funding agencies. Okay, starting from UGC, CSR, Department of Atomic Energy, DST having so many domains where we can get enough funding, DRDO, and Ministry of Environment and Forest, Department of Biotechnology. Yes, sir. Okay. Then ICR, Indian Council for Agriculture Research. You can see the funding list goes on, like both in the Indian funding and international funding. You can see ICSSR, then Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Ministry of Water Resources, and so on. Okay, so by these two slides, we came to know that there are a lot of funding agencies. So fund is not at all a problem. They have government pumped enough fund to these agencies, and these agencies are ready to fund the research proposals. So fund is not at all a problem. Then what is the problem? Okay, so that we can see in the next slide. Funds for well thought proposal are never a problem. So that is where you're lacking. Okay, funds for well thought out proposals. It means that the proposal what I'm going to write or send to the funding agencies should be in such way that that going to attract the fund. Okay, so that's why, see, even though we are having good ideas, novelty in our work and new work and everything, how well you're going to express that to the funding agencies is the matters. Okay, so that's why we are dealing with topic called writing a winning proposal. Okay, so the previous two slides shows that funding is not at all a problem. See, enough fund is there available in government and funding agencies. Only thing that how we going to get that fund is because we are not writing the proposal in such a way that that going to attract the funding agencies. Okay, so well thought proposals always going to get the funding. So how to write the well thought proposal is the ultimate objective of our presentation. Let's see one by one. Okay, and now see, here there are some any proposal that I'm going to send to funding agencies. We have to do some preliminary work. Okay, without that we cannot send the proposals to know something. Okay, so what is that? There are some points I given here. You have to identify something. Okay, what we have to identify? Just put some answers in your boxes so I can know what we have to identify. Before sending the proposal, the first step we have to identify I. So what may be the I? So I am asking for I. The term I have given no in the slide. So what it means? We have to identify the I. So what it means? Problem area, trendy topic, problem, I is objective. So all fine. Okay. Here, so whenever I thought of writing a proposal, on basis of that only I have to start writing the proposal. Without that base, I cannot write the proposal. What might be that I? So many answers are flooding, like problem area, trendy topic, I is for eligibility, objective, rationality, and so on. Okay, so everyone giving different answers, but you people are forget that identify ideas. That is very, very important whenever you're going to write the proposal. Without idea, we cannot execute the proposals. Okay, we need some idea. So that's why whenever there is a problem, we have to try to find out solutions to overcome that problem. So to finding the solutions is nothing but we have to give some ideas to overcome that problem. So whenever you are going to start the proposal, before well in hand, you should have some ideas. That is, you have to identify the ideas. That is called identifying I. This is a preliminary work we have to do. Okay, then after identifying the ideas, look for F. So what it means F? You can give some answers for F. Yeah, a very good answer. So we have to look for funding agencies. Okay, I have idea. So that is workable and feasible idea. Then I have to find out who can fund for that idea. So we have to look for funding agencies. There are n number of funding agencies, I said in the previous slide. So we have to approach that funding agency based on our idea. Okay, and once we are whenever we're going to search for funding agencies, we have to study these following things. Okay, there are some letters I given. We have to study T, comma G and F and P. So what might be? So we cannot send the proposal as like that to any funding agencies. There should be some guidelines or something should be, we have to very clear before sending the funding proposal to the funding agency. So that's why you have to study something. Okay, so here what to study, what T stands for. So any funding agencies, if you go through their website, they have some listed some areas. Okay, so that we call it as not target, what we call it as. So any funding agencies, first we have to go and see what they are listing out, what is the area they are interested to give funding to us. So that we call it as no, not thematic areas. You are very close, but it's not thematic area. So I tell myself this is trust areas. Okay, teach what trust. See, any funding agency, they're going to list around 10 or 20 trust areas where they're looking for are willing to give funding to the projects. Okay, and after that we have to study. See, once we know the trust area and our ideas matches with the trust area, then we can go and download their forms and documents and see what is their procedures and guidelines. That is for G for guidelines. We have to see what are the guidelines, because without knowing the guidelines I cannot see. Even the idea will be good, but I should be completed a doctorate. So then one day they are going to accept. So in well in hand we have to look into all these things. Then again wasting of time will happen. All proposal will be ready and going to send, and finally they'll say you are not PhD, so you are not eligible for sending the proposal here. So this kind of matters will be well in advance. We have to study. That is we have to check the guidelines, and we have to study. There are each and every funding agency having different formats. Okay, but more or less the information needed will be same, but that should be presented in different ways. So we have to study the forms. Okay, and finally we have to look into that what are the various projects that funding agency funded before 5 years, last 5 years, what kind of projects the fund is deployed. That we have to look into that, because that is the area they are spending a lot of money. Okay, so once again I repeat, we have to do preliminary work where we have to identify what I is for ideas. Once idea is generated, then we have to look for right funding agencies. How am I going to choose right funding agencies? I'm going to study the trust area, the guidelines, and the formats and previous funding of that particular funding agencies all should be studied. Then establish C. Okay, so what it means, establish C. See, once I decided to send the funding for DST, and so I have to establish C. C is nothing but so I have to be in touch with people who already sent proposal to DST, and if I know some people indirectly or directly in DST, I can get in touch. Okay, this all going to help to improve our proposal, or to know what exactly people needed. So for that we have to establish C. C is not contact. We have to establish C, contact with already people are maybe sent proposal to them. That people we should be contacted, and some people in the funding agencies will be there. That connection we have to get it. So this all going to enhance our proposal. Okay, and finally create P. Okay, so nowadays government funding agencies, every funding agency is looking for one thing. Okay, even though idea is very good and a lot of scope is there and it is innovative, novelty is there, everything is fine, but they're asking for the P. Okay, what is P? So earlier days, whenever the project proposal sent, they're going to fund, and we people going to make prototype, and that going to be lying in the lab. Okay, that's it. So that is the end of that project. Okay, nowadays government is not looking for that. They want to take it to next step, that commercialization. In that case, we need partnership. Okay, industrial partnership. Nowadays, each and every proposal the people are asking for industrial partnership. Okay, that is called, we have to create partnership with industry. These are the preliminary work we have to do well in advance before sending or writing the proposals. Okay, I hope so far it is clear. So we can move to the next slide. So many answers flooded. Thank you. So what funding agencies looks for? So another question, sir. What funding agencies look for? Okay. Your proposal is significant if there are 4 points. It should solve something. Okay. So what P stands for? Your proposal should solve something. I have mentioned P. So what is P? Yeah, absolutely. P is for problem. Any proposal should solve some problem. Okay, and it should create K and M. So what K stands for and M stands for? So any research, there are 2 research. One is application oriented research and some basic scientific research. Okay, so both are possible because both are needed. One is the application oriented research immediately going to solve the purpose of needs of any immediately going to solve the problem, and the scientific research where we're going to develop some new theories or themes or that going to further take up for application. Okay, both the things should be happen. So it creates K and M means what K stands for? Knowledge. Absolutely, very correct. Knowledge and knowledge and methods. Very close to that. See, we have to create some knowledge by doing that research work, and if you're going to do the scientific sort of research, we have to create some models. Okay, knowledge and models, that's what people going to look for, whether that proposal going to create some knowledge or that proposal create some new models. Okay, so that's what creating K and M. And the work which I am going to do now, that should improve these 2 things, H and T. So what H and T stands for? So we are doing research for whom? We are doing research ultimately for whom? In India, we are doing a lot of research that going to benefit whom? Humanity. Yeah, H stands for C. We have to increase the human conditions, the standard of living and the way working conditions of human being. That's why nowadays so many comfort aspect came even by putting a small pressing the small button, everything can be get done. Okay, that kind of conditions are changed, human conditions are changed, ergonomics is playing very much, and this all needed. So any research that what I'm going to do, that should improve the human conditions, and as well as that should have some new some scientific techniques. Okay, some techniques. See, the same problem can be solved by different techniques, right? So in that there are 4 or 5 techniques we have to develop. Which technique going to be cost effective? That is very important for commercialization of the product. So that's what we mean, that improve the human condition and scientific techniques. And ultimately the proposal, what the funding agency look for, that should address the needs of the funding agencies. Okay, and for needs, because I told in the earlier slide, we have to look into the funding agencies. For Department of Biotechnology, I can send only biotechnology sort of research proposal. I cannot send some survey of our demographic and psychographic survey and all. They are not needed. Okay, they need some biotechnology projects. So we have to see the trust area of the funding agencies, and that exactly address the needs of the funding agencies. But these are the selection of funding agencies. Okay, even though idea is good, if you're not going to channelize and send to the proper agencies, you're not going to get the fund. Okay, that is the purpose of seeing this slide. Why we need proposal? Okay, a proposal is selling document. Okay, so ultimately it is selling. I'm going to sell myself. I'm going to market myself, that I have idea. I can able to do that. So because of that, the society going to benefit. So for doing that, I need fund. These are the questions, request we're going to put up to the funding agencies. So that is a selling document written to influence D. Okay, we are writing the proposal to influence what? See, ultimately, after studying my proposal, there should be some D for decision. Okay, see, the reviewer has to take decision. Okay, whether you have to accept or the funding agency has to take decision whether to accept or reject or to modify. Okay, so we are writing the proposal to influence the decision maker. Ultimately, the decision may be in the three form: either they're going to reject, or they're going to accept, or they're going to request to modify the proposal. So in that way, we have to write. Okay, so if I'm going to write the proposal in very vague manner, means that sure they're going to be rejected. The decision making will happen spontaneously. Okay, but if there is some work in the proposal, they further look into the proposal and they ask to modify the proposal, and they ask some questions that we have to justify and so on. Okay, that influence the decision making, and we have to convince R. So what R stands for? Very important. Any answers for R? Yeah, absolutely. Reviewer, we have to convince the reviewer. So always keep in mind, whenever going to write any paper or for journals or proposals or thesis, whatever may be, think in the point of the person who going to view our document. Okay, so we still everyone do the mistake that I will write proposal for my own thoughts and opinions and all. I am not think for other people point of view. Okay, so that mistakes we will do. So always should be very caution in writing the proposal. Each and every sentence if we write, and as a third person you have to read the sentences and you have to understand. Okay, or after writing, give the proposal to your subordinates, colleagues, and friends. Ask them to go through that. Then the third point opinion or their mindset or their views will be come to you. Then you can improve your proposal. So always you have to write the proposal for convince the reviewer. And very important, you have to address I, E, M, E, K. So these 5 words are key words. Always you have to keep in mind while writing the proposal. So what you have to address, we have to clearly address I for idea. Okay, that is on basis of that only I'm going to develop entire proposal. Okay, so what is your idea, how that going to be useful in solving the problem. So that is idea, and I might be having idea, but I don't know well thought proposal. Okay, it means that how you going to express, E for express. Okay, how you going to express that idea in simple words or simple understanding language. That is very see. Think about the reviewer. They get so many proposals and very big proposals. A lot of technology things, technical parameters. So they are also human being. If idea is very cleanly explained to them in simple words and simple language, they immediately accept. Because people forget the idea, they will explain other things like literature and so on, but finally they will not look into the idea. Okay, so that drawback is there. So we have to express the idea in such a manner that going to please the reviewer. And while writing the proposal, we have to express the idea, and we have to tell the reviewer that how I am going to execute that idea. That is called YAM. So what is YAM? How I am going to execute the idea. So YAM is nothing but methodology. Very important. How and what method I am going to express in what method I am going to execute my idea. And finally, once the same problem can be solved by so many methods. Okay, so I am doing some research and I'm finally that should be validated. Okay, whether that is right or wrong, whether I got right result or wrong result. So that is called evaluation. E for evaluation. So what kind of testing methods I'm going to use to check to validate my research findings are right. So that is called evaluation. And finally K. Okay, once again I repeat, so any proposal, these 5 letters are key for writing the proposal. The first one is idea. You should have wonderful idea, and that idea should be expressed in such a way that they're going to please the reviewer. That is called E. And after that, that how you're going to execute that your idea is called methodology. That is M. And once you finish the research and you have to validate, that is nothing but evaluation. And finally K. So up to evaluation, everything will be fine. So what is K? Any answer for K? Idea, expression, methodology, evaluation, fine. Keen. Okay, it's not keen. We missed that only. The K is very, very important. Okay, so we do all these things. We generate idea, express, write proposal, say how I'm going to do, and testing will also happen. I'm going to develop prototype models and everything. And finally, I'm going to miss the real benefit of doing the research will be not explored. Okay, so that is called K. So K, key points, key weights. No. So whenever you're going to write the proposal, and ultimately they will ask expected outcomes. Okay, or they will ask for know-how. That is called knowledge. That knowledge should be transferred to the industry partner and the public. So that's why so many people going to use, and commercialization will happen, and real benefit will be achieved out of the research. Okay, the knowledge transfer, that's called K. Okay, now I hope you are all clear that these 5 words are fundamental words. Always you have to keep in mind IEMEK. Okay, idea, express, methodology, and evaluate, and knowledge transfer. Okay, this is mantra for writing the proposal. Okay, knowledge, fine. So how should it be? Okay, whenever writing the proposal, there are some fundamental points you have to keep in mind. Okay, see, write for R. Okay, this one we have discussed in the earlier slide. What is R? There is no need for explanation. I already told you what is R. R is reviewer. We have to write the proposal for reviewer, not for me. Okay, so I am sending for funding agencies. The funding agency is going to send for reviewer, and whenever you're going to write the proposal, keep in mind you are writing for reviewer. In that mindset, you have to write the proposal. Okay, 2 S. Okay, so here the S stands for. Always you have to keep in mind, people are thinking that if I'm going to make very long proposals like 100 page, 200 page, like thesis, that will be accepted. No, the reviewer have to spend a lot of time, and the proposal is going to be very short and smart. Okay, so given 10 pages is the proposal, and it is clearly written and smartly written, you get the funding. Okay, that's why 2 years you have to always remember. It should be very short and smart. Okay, 2 Qs. Okay, so what is 2 Qs? People think, I told no, always the people think for if I'm going to add so many literature surveys, so many things in the proposal, then a lot of chance for getting funding. No, quantity is not at all matter, quality is matter. Okay, always remember that 2Q, quantity and quality. So quality matters, forget about quantity. Okay, focus on 2 C's. There are 2 C's. One is who is my client, for whom I am writing the proposal. Who is my funding agent? They are clients. Okay, I have to focus what is their trust area and what is my area. If both are matching, then I can send for that funding agent. That is called clients. And second one, what is my capability? Okay, so even though I having idea, really I am expertise in executing that idea. So that is very, very important. Okay, that you have to see, focus on the client, the funding agencies, as well as the capability of my own capability. Okay, that we have to focus and address the I for issues. You have to see my proposal straight away. You have to address the issues. Okay, what is the problem? How I'm going to solve the problem. This is the 2 fundamental areas we have to keep in mind. And so heads. Okay, what to show? How I'm going to execute that idea. That is a method. What are the different methods I'm going to use to execute the idea and to solve the problem? And very importantly, accurately. D stands for, see, whenever you write the proposal, whenever you're giving some data, that should be realistic. Okay, if you're going to do literature survey and getting data and statistics and everything, that should be realistic. Should not be forgery data. Okay, people easily will find reviewer. See, nowadays in hand everything is there. If you Google it, they can know the search pages. What you are going, the same pages will be visible for them also. Okay, easily they can catch us, and if there is a data mismatching, immediately they will not go through entire proposal. Okay, they stop reading and say rejected, because the trust is gone for the reviewer. Okay, so the data accuracy is very, very important. And highlight CV. We do the mistake. Okay, already we have CV that will be in our folder in the computer. Okay, we make very good proposals. At last we have to add CV, and we take that CV in the folder and attach and send. So that is very big mistake. We should not do that. So today I'm going to send the proposal means up to today morning my biodata should be updated. Okay, so what will happen in the resume? No, we may given the paper publication for last 3 years. Now 1 year is gone. I have not will be updated in the resume. Okay, so in 1 year I maybe publish 15 papers. That not will be in the resume. So this kind of resumes will go to the reviewer. Okay, so that going to that not be good, because our aim is I have to show my expectation to the reviewer. In that case, that day, whenever I'm going to send the proposal, till that day my resume should be updated, and updated CV should be attached in the proposal. Okay, and
Hello.
yes sir.
Sorry to disturb you, sir. What is H stand for?
So how I'm going to execute the idea, methods. H stands for how I'm going to do the that project. So any project there will be method will be there. No, in what methodology I'm going to do that research work. So how I'm going to do that work. It's clear, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So you have to keep in mind all those things, right? We are writing for researchers, so we have to keep 2 S in mind, 2Q in mind, and 2Cs in mind, address the issues. So how we going to execute the project, give the accurate data, and update the CV and send to the funding agencies. So you do all thing and write the proposal, and don't send the proposal. See, you may be decided today everything is over, my CV also added, and I have to bind the proposal, and I'm going to courier the proposal today evening. Okay, that is the plan. Okay, you do everything and fine, and that is your target, that today you have to send the proposal. Okay, so you do everything fine, but at the end of the day, please don't send your proposal. Okay, so why? What might be the reason? So for this, there is no question now, so you can answer in the chat box. Why I'm not saying that? Please don't send the proposal on that date itself. Any answer in the chat box? Okay, fine. Chat box is not enabled for all, I think so. Okay, so the reason for telling don't send the proposal in that is, see, we are making the proposal for last 3 months. Okay, so for each and everything I am building like objective, goals, methodology, references, literature, and outcome, expected outcome, and so many things. I'm building the proposal day by day. Okay, even I updated the CV, everything. Okay, but I'm telling that don't send the proposal the day what you have planned. Okay, keep the proposal itself, don't courier it, because so many things will happen. Okay, so even if you heard of Madam Curie story, so she was struggling to complete one formula. Okay, she can able to do off formula, and another off is very difficult for her and is breaking her head, but she cannot complete that formula. So she was very tired and she slept as it is. Okay. Next day morning, you woke up and saw that another part half of the formula is completed in the notebook. Okay, she surprised that how come this is happened. Okay, so our brain and the unconscious conscious mind will work in such a way that so that how it is happened. The Madam Curie in the mid of the night she woke up and she herself completed the another half of the formula and slept. Okay, so our brain, our conscious mind will work in that way that that will in conscious mind that will think what are things we left over, what are the things we did the mistake, what are the loops we have to close. This all will happen in that night. Okay, so that consciousness will help us to close our gaps, fill our gaps, to correct our mistakes and so on. That's why I'm instructing you that don't send the proposal as planned in that day. Okay, keep the proposal as it is and sleep nicely. In your dream, in your conscious mind, you may get some thing like you are not updated the two papers, you are not updated that literature, you are not the budget what you have given the value is wrong because the document the quotations what we have got is different and the budget value is different. So it's like that we get so many hints to improvise your proposal. So that's why I'm telling that don't send the proposal on that day itself. Keep it is for one night. In the night amazing things will happen. So always believe in the night. So whenever the conscious mind is working now, very wonderful things will happen. So your proposal will be fully corrected, auto corrected by means of the universe and existence. So that is the ultimate point what I have to try to tell you, convey you, because this has happened to me and so many people, and everyone is experiencing these things but will not remember that. Okay, that is the thing I have to tell in this forum. So what are the proposal requirement? So these are very fundamental things. Okay, so here you can see like thesis, the proposal, each and every funding agency is asking different format, but the points going to be same. Okay, the title and abstract, objectives, literatures, methods, the timeline, the Gantt chart you have to give, budget, references, and so on. Okay, so what we are trying to say, what I'm going to do, why I'm doing, when I'm going to do, where I'm going to do, how I'm going to do, and who I'm going to do. Okay, these answers I'm going to give indirectly to the reviewer. So that's why we are writing the proposal for the reviewer. So now you can see one by one how the title of the proposal should be. Okay, so if you categorize what is good and what is bad, the good means the proposal should be very concise. So what I mean concise, very crisp, very what the title should be in such a way that everything should be understood, should not be very long. So within one sentence, one line sentence, everything clearly should be understood by the reviewer. That kind of title should be always catchy. So that's why the concise title always will be appreciated by the reviewer. Okay, so you can see here some example I quoted. Understanding the role of anti-cell death protein BNAP3 plays in brain cancer. This is the some about the brain cancers, what this protein going to play. I'm going to do some research on the brain cancers and the protein, how they're going to help the brain cancer. This is what all about research. Okay, but see here, if a title is too long, obviously people will ask to change the title or they will not look into the project. Okay, if very short also they are not able to understand what exactly the project means. Okay, the title should be in optimum level, not too long or too short. That title is sufficient enough for the reviewer to understand what exactly the project all about. Okay, see why they are rejecting the project. No, see here the title, same title is reflected in some other manner, like determining the mechanism of action of BCL2 family members in regulating apoptotic signaling complexes within the mitochondria leading to a cure in cancers. Okay, this is totally technical terms. Okay, sometimes reviewer not be very expertise in that domain, so they have knowledge, they have expertise, they know by reviewing the project they say it is worth or not worth. That much expertise is there, but very technical issues and all the reviewer will not have expertise. So if you're going to give this kind of title, the people are going to be fed up. Okay. Summary or abstract. Okay, we say it is good, it should be in one page. Okay, this abstract should not be 5 or 10 pages. Okay, that will be hectic for reviewer to go for. See, abstract always should be off page or one page where you're going to give the outline or overview of the project. Okay, so by reading that abstract itself, reviewer will be very clear that what all about. Okay, so in the abstract we have to highlight the problem, the need for the project, what is the problem, how I'm going to solve the problem. So that's why objectives comes. Okay, so problem is there, the objective of the research is to solve the problem. So and I'm going to outline entire thing happening in this project, like what method I'm going to use, what results I'm going to get, what are the outcomes I'm going to gain. So all things will be in one lines. Okay, so and how it's going to impact the entire society. That is very important. If I'm going to do this project, how much reach will be there, how much possibility of commercialization, how much going to impact the entire society. So that all should be in the off page, one page abstract, in very simple terminology, in simple words, simple English. So that going to give very good visibility of a project. Why they are rejecting? Very condensed. Okay, within 4 lines you are finishing your abstract and they are not able to predict what the project all about. Purpose is not clear. So many times when you're going to write the project papers to the journal, the reviewer comment will be that the abstract is not clear. Okay, so we do entire work and our methodology and results, interpretation, conclusion all be fine, but we are not able to concise that and give it as abstract because we have to write entire project into very in small paragraph. That is one of the technique we have to develop, how to concise that entire thing and give it to the one page write up. So that we have to all are learning and we have to learn that. Objectives, again we have to we say that it is good if you have purpose. If you write objective with purpose and should have outcomes, accomplishment. If I'm going to do this project, what I'm going to accomplish. Okay, what I'm going to achieve. Very importantly, people look for novelty. Okay, whenever you're going for patent and everything, first thing is novelty. They see for novelty and they see for how much commercialization possibilities for is there for that project patent. Okay, likewise people look for novelty. So if there is a novelty, they immediately look into our project. Okay, and impact, as I told you, see we're going to write 4 or 5 objectives. So all the objectives, action verbs should be used at the start of the each and every objective. That is the mandatory thing. The people will require that thing, and the objective should be in the SMART. Okay, so what is SMART? Whenever I'm going to write objective, I have to keep in mind, yes, specific. Okay, should not be very vague. So point to point, specific. That is called yes and M. So the each and every objective, what you're going to write should be measurable. Okay, that should be quantified. Without measurement, we cannot judge or say this is good or bad. So it should be measurable. And A for what? Achievable. Okay, there are 4 or 5 objectives I'm stating. No, each and every objective should be achievable. Okay, unachievable objective you're going to write means what is the use for? So each and every objective at the end of the day should be achieved. That is called achievable. And realistic. R for realistic. I cannot write something which is not going to happen. Okay, if you're going to do say that I'm going to reach the Mars and going to survey there, means that is unrealistic objective. Okay, that kind of objective should not be written. And time, everything based on the time. Okay, so nowadays when we go for funding, no, earlier days they are given 3 years, 4 years, and something. Nowadays, whatever idea is good and everything is good, the people are asking to finish within 18 months, 1 year. The kind of time frame they are giving. So every objective that we are framing should be time bound. So whenever you're going to write objective for thesis or paper or this funding proposals, you have to keep this SMART, S for specific, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for realistic, and T for time bound. Why they are rejecting the objectives? No clarity. So, and too technical and too condensed, very short or sometimes very long. These are the things you have to keep in mind.
Sir, please explain action verbs once again.
Action verbs, see, if you're going to use Bloom's taxonomy, what Bloom is telling that for each and every course outcome, you have to write action verb. Then see, we are used action verb like explain, compare, understand. So that kind of action verb will be there for each and every objective. Okay, so that's what I mean.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Literature, this is the part most of us are going to be missing the things. Okay, so the literature, what I'm going to quote, it should be such way that clearly should state the previous work done by the researchers in that particular area. Okay, so last 5 years, so what are the things happen in that particular area should be listed in sequential manner. Okay, so there should be connected from one literature to another literature, so that should not be vague. That is the previous work with proper justification. And sometimes we have doing research further because of limitations given by the previous researchers. Okay, sometimes in the paper you can see that I did so and so, but there are some limitations in my research. There are future scope for doing the work. Likewise, they give some points. So that is the point where from there we're going to take up. So that limitation should be listed very clearly. That is scope of future work. And if any preliminary work you did know, that should be mentioned in the literature. I did with the help of student project, I made a prototype in my lab, and that given some good result. Further, that is already our paper is published with that. Further, I'm going to expand this. That's why I'm needing funding. So that is very, see, I went for presentation in DHT 2 or 3 times. My project is approved because of this preliminary work. Okay, preliminary work already I made with the help of students. I made some prototype, and the pictures, videos, all will take to the presentation. So people will see and they get confident that there is something already happened. So there is possibility of converting this into the real project that will be going to benefit large people. Okay, that is very, very important. So that we have to show in our literature background. I told no connectivity. Okay, while writing the thesis, no, we quote hundreds of literature, but no one will connect it. Okay, that one literature will be at that side, another will be this side. No, so whenever I'm going to quote the literature last 5 years, one by one, that the first one should have connected with second one with third. Likewise, there will be sequential continuity. So when I'm going to read, as a reviewer, I'm going to read, I'm going to get clear picture last 5 years, what is happened, step 1, step 2, step 3. So finally, there is limitation. That's why this guy is doing this. So that kind of one line thing should be there. So reviewer will be, obviously, all the doubts will be clarified in there itself. He is very clear that this guy thoroughly did the literature, and that guy is understand what is literature thing, and he knows what to do. So that kind of confidence we will give by giving wonderful sequence of literature. So that's what here we are missing. Okay, we just cut and paste. That's what happened. Okay, that's not happen. See, why they are rejecting unnecessary information? Why unnecessary information? We Google it, take something and paste it. Okay, that's why our literature will be having a lot of unnecessary information. No indication that the proposal will be feasible. Okay, so because we ourselves don't know what is literature, we just taking from other theses and pasting because we have to increase the page. Okay, so this is all going to give negative impact of our project. No indication that applicant can see. This is very important. See, this all the thing the people will sense. They're very easily going to sense this guy don't have knowledge. This guy don't have thoroughly studied the literature. This guy cannot not able to do this work. So this hints and all we are giving in the literature. Okay, so that we should be very careful in making up the literature back. Methodology, we say, should be well defined. We have to explain why I'm doing in this way. We have to connect the previous methods where some researchers maybe did in some other method, and we are going to propose some other method. We have to connect that method and this method, and collaborations. Okay, where sometimes when I'm going to do the real work, I have to get the help of industry collaborators. Because my lab is not sufficient, I have to go for some other lab. So that kind of collaboration should happen. So we have to state that this part I'm going to do in CSR, this part I'm going to do in this lab, this part I'm going to do in some other university. That kind of collaboration you have to state then and there. So people will get confident that these people well in advance know where are the sources and they are able to do this project. Okay. Why they are rejecting while writing the methodology? Lack of expertise, and there are some limitations. See, sometimes the testing what you're going to mention or the method what you're going to prescribe in India might not be there is no any provisions or facilities to do in India, but you will be quoted in the methodology. Okay, reviewer going to that will really know that it is not feasible. It can be done in Australia or England. These people simply writing the method. Okay, that kind of sort of things should not be there. Very important, budgeting. People see, we are thinking that people will not look critically the budget, but people at last, once every proposal is approved and they are recommended funding, at last stage they will catch the budget. There they ask lot of queries, they are quotations, they are ask 3 or 4 quotations, they have comparative statement. They will not leave any small things also. They try to reduce the budget. So many things will happen. So whenever going to quote, give budget should be realistic, and there should not be any deviations. Okay, so detailed account should be given. How much the institute is going to contribute, how much the industry contribution is very mandatory nowadays. So when I'm going to quote the budget, 25 lakhs is my budget and 5 lakhs will be provided by the industry. That kind of thing going to give lot of chance for getting funded by the funding agencies. Why they are rejecting? See, whenever going to give the budget, their manpower is there, equipment is there, consumable is there, and travel is there. Okay, so many heads are there. Okay, for each and every head, you have to give clear justification. Why I need this manpower? Why I need SRF or JRF? How many? Also, in what qualification we need? For that, how much I have to spend? If you go consumables, each and every consumables that you have to mention and mention the rate and what quantity needed and so on. Okay, so proper justification always will be viewed correctly, and if you clear in this, people will not bargain in the budget. They will sanction whatever you ask. So that's why we are very clean on this budget. Timelines. So I told no earlier, every funding agency is nowadays looking for timelines. Okay, if you're going to propose project for 3 years, they ask to complete in 2 years. If you're going to propose project for 2 years, they ask to complete in 12 or 18 months. Okay, likewise, we are looking for timelines. So in that, we have to give achievable deadlines. Okay, so you have to prepare Gantt chart, and you have to list out the task. Each and every task, which month you're going to start, which month you're going to finish. That clearly you have to mention. That should be achievable. That is just, and we have to properly justify why I need this much time for making this, that, and so on. Okay, why they are rejecting? If you're going to quote for 4 years or 5 years like that, they're going to reject the project. Referees. Okay. See here, what referees I mean here. You can put in the chat box. What referees I mean here. Any answers, referees? So when you're writing the paper, the journal asks for something. Other than paper, you have to enter, they ask for some 4 or 5 people. So who are they? We call it as reviewers. Okay. The same way, when you're going to write the proposal, the people, funding agencies ask for experts. Okay. We have to give some experts. Sometimes they will send to them, or sometimes they will send out of that. But anyway, if we're going to give 5 or 6 experts, at least 2 experts will get our proposal. Okay, so whenever going to give that expert name, we have to choose referees in my own field of research. So I cannot give for my research. If I'm going to do some chemical research, I cannot give referee in the physics. Okay, that kind of blunder mistake will do, because we think that he is my friend. Okay, if proposal go to them, he will approve. So there is a chance for getting the funding. So not like that. Okay, so if you're going to give wrong referees, not in your field, obviously the funding agency is going to reject that referee, and they will send for their own referee database. Okay, so we have to give the referees who is having expertise in your field. Okay, then lot of chance for the proposal going to them. Should not be given at the sake of friendship. Okay, when there is reject, if referee is your colleague in your own college, they're going to reject that referee. And if you're going to choose a competitor, okay, as a referee, the funding agency think that this idea will be stolen by them, so they're going to reject. And if you're going to choose a top scientist in your field, they're going to reject the referee. Why? If you're going to choose a top scientist, because top scientists, they don't have time to see all these things, because they have so many work. So you can choose wisely that referee who immediately accept and review your project.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
First thing, why do we need referee? And the second is, what should be the qualification of the referee?
See, here there is no any qualification of the referee. If if you're going to do research in some chemical area, your referee should be expertise in that chemical area. My point is that you should not give referee as some other domain like fashion or physics or bio thing. Okay, that's what I mean. So the people not ask for any expertise, some qualification and all. They are not asking. They need some people who have do lot of work in that area. So that's what. See, whenever I'm going to give referee, sometimes they ask for biodata of the referee also. What are the papers they are published? Okay, that kind of inputs is sufficient for funding agencies to see whether they are worth or not. Okay. So I'm clear, sir, for your question.
Yes, sir.
So most of the times we give a referee as the people who are working in the same area. Mostly as education institute, I'm the education background, so I'm give referee in my other college professors only. Okay, most of the time lab, and sometimes in the lab, some we deal with some lab, no, some nationalist lab. There will be some scientists. For them also, I'm going to give as referee. Okay, because we are connected with them only. Okay, so we cannot give the people whom I don't know. Okay, I give mostly who are closely connected with my field and who are working in the same area in some other college, in some other science laboratory. So that only we give. So even though we're going to give the referee, the agency is having their own database, and they generate their database based on the inputs given us, and sometimes they're going to send a proposal to the referee what I have given. Okay, that is possible. And another important thing, co-principal investigators. Okay, so most of the time co-PA will be my close friends in my department or other department, likewise. Okay, this should not be happen. Okay, So I will write a beautiful proposal and everything. And for name's sake, I have to add some copies and add my friend list. Okay, so that people will ask. Okay, at the time of presentation and all, correctly they ask why I put this copy, what expertise he having, uh, like that. Okay, so here whenever you're going to put a copy, there should be a record of very good paperwork is done by him in that area is mandatory. Okay, you should have expertise in that, and that only the people at last people going to ask what is the purpose of putting this copy in this project. For that, you have to justify. If the investigator lack of physical skill, co-picking can bring. See, sometimes I am well versed in textile technology, but my project is dealing with finishing the fabric with some biochemicals. So in that, my copy should be obviously in the biotechnology department. So I cannot do that antimicrobial test and all. So that thing they have to help. I can make a fabric with different finishes, and they have to evaluate. So in that case, my copy should be in that interdisciplinary copy. That always is welcome. Why they are rejecting? Weakness to add co-applicant, just give you an reagent. So I'm going to add my phone friend. Co-applicant will do most of the project in their laboratories. Okay, so because of this, they are rejecting the copy. CV, applicant CV, list of awards, very important. Okay, most of the times, see, these all, see, every year there is some awards given to the faculty, and even we are not applying for that also. If you apply, you will get awards. Okay, there are so many awards given by so many agencies. So this all going to recognize you that because already see, people are going through your CV and your work, and they are recognized that you are expertise and you are achieved something. So that all key indicator for the reviewers that this guy is really worth our expertise. So awards that you have to mention in our biodata. If you get a research award or teaching award, whatever may be. List of publication last 5 years, very important. So till date, what are the publications you did know, that list should be there. Then give impact factors. So if you're going to give impact factors, that itself says that how quality of your work. Okay, and give sometime ranking of journals. Why they are rejecting? Sometimes your biodata will be like a job application form. Okay, there will be name, address, and qualification and work experience. That's it. Okay, so that kind of CV will be immediately rejected. Okay. So in the publication, make sure that you have to have your own publications. Okay, per year you're going to publish 2 or 3 papers. At least in 2 papers, you should be the first author. Okay, most of the times what will happen, our juniors or scholars going to do the papers, and our name will be 3rd or 4th author. So my all paper will be like that, means the people will think that this guy is not doing anything, all done by some other people. So that you should be very clean that every paper my name should be first. If your name should be first, means you should be done by that work. So then only your name will be first. So what are the stages in preparation of proposal? There are some points. Okay, before preparing the proposal, you have to consult with so many people. You have to consult with your colleague, friends, other department faculty, tell about your brief idea, and they give a lot of inputs. Okay, we have to consult, we have to discuss with so many people, brainstorming. Okay, we have to have group of people and put your idea and get the opinion of each and every people, then analyze the idea and consent, make a precise. Now you get the structure, good presentation. You have to use diagrams and tables. Always should be bullet points. If you want to write objectives or any points, should not be para means people fed up in reading all those things. Sometimes you have to use a lot of bullet points. See, very we do the mistake, silly mistakes. See, once you started the document, our font size, spacing, everything should be uniform. If you're not maintaining that, the people will be irritated. Okay, so one page is one font, another page is another font, and spacing is not, they're not justified. Someone is left column, someone is right column. This all going to irritate the reviewer. Okay, and very important, whenever you're going to write a Word document, activate the spell checker. Okay, so lot of spelling mistake will be eliminated with spell checker, so your proposal will be very neat without any errors. Otherwise, there is a lot of spelling mistake means the reviewer will be immediately judge you that this person is not quality person. Okay, these are the things you have to keep in mind. So what are the characteristics of well-written fundamental proposal? Here some point, do not assume reviewers know the succeed. This is very important. Okay. So I told that the proposal will go for 3 or 4 reviewers. Don't assume that reviewers know everything. Okay, they know some fundamental things. They are not well expertise as you, because you in depth, you are analyzed, you did literature survey, you know technical aspect, everything, but reviewer not so. So don't judge reviewers knows everything. Do not go overboard on innovation. Sometimes you'll tell that my innovation is nowhere in the world. I am only I am one and only having this kind of idea. This kind of jargon we never use in the proposal. That is going to irritate the reviewer, and should have some relevance. Okay, you have to demonstrate your competencies. Okay, then and there in the proposal you have to quote your paper, you have to quote your some equipment what you have developed yourself, like that. And feasibility study time, but the time study should be reasonable. Throughout the document, the reviewer has to found enthusiasm. Okay, in the document, when you're going to read your document, you have to know how enthusiastic you are. Okay, how confident you are. Okay, straightforward language. I told that very simple language is enough. There is no need for any complexity in the language. Complete literature search is mandatory. So very sad part of this is reviewers. Okay, whatever you're going to write, at last this reviewers going to break their heads. Okay, so take pity on the reviewers. They are very sad. So think of them and write in good manner. Okay, in simple English, in understandable manner, because don't put 100 or 200 papers and cut and paste and send to the reviewer. There are people who have to review so many projects like this. They will be fed up. Okay, reviewers hate being challenged to read densely prepared text or to read badly prepared materials. Okay, so don't give that kind of burden to them. Make your proposal pleasant reading. So when they start first page, at the end till the end, they should feel good pleasant experience. They will turn the page like that, and they should not feel that within the short time the entire proposal will be over. That kind of thing you have to give. Use figures, clarify points, but not as fillers. So what we'll do sometimes, there will be some gap. Okay, for that we add some tables and figures. Never do that. Okay, so whenever you're going to align the pages, there will be some empty space at the bottom of the page, and for that you add some tables and figures. Never do that. That's all unnecessary thing that going to irritate the reviewers. What reviewers looking for? They are looking for high scientific quality that should fill the knowledge gap, novelty, value for money, clear and well thought approach, interesting idea, achievable, realistic. Everything I discussed in previous slides. Reviewer must be impressed and not comment. If it is not original idea, they are going to immediately reject or comment. If justification is weak, they are going to reject. Writing is weak, they will not be impressed. Outcomes are not realistic, they are going to reject. If my expectation is not there, they are going to reject. You are writing a very good research proposal, but their problem solving is not important, means they are going to reject. Unfocused and project is too large, they are going to reject. What irritate reviewers? Already I have told: spelling errors, overusing of technical terms, confusing language, complex sentences, coherence between the paragraph. In literature survey, we missed that coherence between the paragraph. Using passive voice, always you have to use active voice, and failing to address the real problem, and this kind of things reviewer going to irritate. The 10 reasons for unsuccessful proposal. Project does not addressing funding agency trust area. Guidelines are not followed. Not a compelling idea. Ideas not clearly presented. Methodology appears to be flawed. Overuse of jargon. Overly ambitious. Narrative and budget do not correspond. Sloppy presentation and work has already been done. So these are very common things. We know all those things, but unknowingly we put in the project. So here, how to improve the chances for success? Avoid I am famous, therefore I will get the grant syndrome. Never complain about lack of resources. Set realistic timeline. Let colleague review the proposal before submitting it. Remember that review process is not blind. Very important that. Resubmit grant if not funded the first time for persistence payoff. Very important. The last sentence is very important. Suppose your proposal is rejected. They are not just like that reject the proposal. They give comments. Okay. That comments are like there is no value for the comments. Okay, we cannot equate with money. Okay, by keeping the comments again, resubmit the proposal to some other funding agencies. So again, same thing. Pick a good topic, write directly on the issue, add a senior collaborator as co-PA, work on something that really should excite yourself. Okay, that is very important. So whatever thing we are doing, no, we should be passionate about that. We really should be excited by doing that thing. Okay, that only going to move towards the success. If I, for the sake of management, for the sake of my research director asking for proposal, I'm going to make proposal, means that going to be failure only. Okay, so we should not do the work for the people who are asking thing. We have to do the work for our own self and our own improvement and our own excitement. So that's going to bring the success in very fast manner. So this again, I'm not going to repeat the same thing what I have discussed the previous slide. So this also we have discussed in the previous slide. I'm not going to discuss. So this is very important. What keeps us from making proposals? So why I'm not writing the proposal? The reason is that fear of rejection. Okay, so if I'm making a proposal and it goes and is rejected, means I think that how the people going to judge me, how other people will see me, how people going to blame me. Okay, these all the things are the mind. So there is no, see, I remember that 10 years back, I think 10 years back when I was doing my PG, so I started to write proposal to DST. That is my PhD work. Sorry, my PhD work. Idea was there. I was trained to put a proposal to DST, and DST called me for the presentation. We are going, and there are a lot of leading scientists all around India and the colleges. So I am only Chota. So when I was there, the shocking thing is first presentation is mine. Okay, even I'm not presented in front of scientists, in front of funding agency, nothing, and this presentation in front of everyone. Okay, so see, every funding agencies call for presentation. Only my that expert members and myself will be in the presentation room, but this time they want to present in whole group. So around 40 or 50 scientists from all over country and expert, where there are 10 or 20 people. So we are the first presentation in mind, and after going and reaching Mumbai that night, I came to know tomorrow morning first is mine. So it is obvious that see, everyone get fear. Okay, the first one is stage fear, and the first is mine, and I'm going to present in front of leading scientists. So everything is there. So same way, I also in fear, but I made a mindset the entire night that okay, this is an opportunity given to us. I'm going to make a first presentation, whether that is good or bad. I have to go and stand in front of people. I have to present whatever coming to the mind. Then let us see what going to happen. This is the mindset. Just we have to jump in the river, then we see whether I am going to swim or not. So that kind of attitude we have to develop. And I went there and presented, and first presentation is over, and people are given asked some queries and questions and everything fine. So I came back, and in the tea time, some leading scientists from Delhi came to me, and along with the tea, yes, chatting with me. Why I quoted your budget just for see? I don't have any idea of sending proposal budget and all. Okay, so my project cost that time is for my PhD work is 25,000. Okay, I just quoted 25,000 the budget. That's it. Okay. So that man came and asked me why I quoted only 25,000. Sir, I said that is my cost. Beyond that, there's nothing in my project. It's very small equipment I would develop. Then he sat with me, and another two scientists came with me, and they discussed with me. See, increase the budget. We add manpower, we add consumables, we add all these things, and make it is around 15 lakhs something. Then you send the see your concept is good, idea is good. If you have to increase the budget, we make 2 years project. Okay, so this all see they know that this guy having idea, and idea is good, but you don't know how to write the proposal, how to make up the budget, how to justify things. Nothing you don't know, but he having some preliminary work, he can able to do that work. So they came and give lot of suggestions, and I improvised my project and sent back, and I got 15 lakhs funding. So there are a lot of good people to help us if your attitude is good and you are open to the thing. Okay, so that is the point I have to make. So never fear for rejection. Okay, so if we have everyone should be rejected, then only you're going to take another step for victory. Okay, so that's why people always think why should I go for all those things? Just I getting salary, I am comfortable, all this. So there won't be any excitement in the life, there won't be any success you're going to realize. Okay, so go for it, attempt it, then you see whether it is good or bad. That is not a matter, but first you have to try. So that is the point. See here, reality, only one proposal in 5 is turned down because the idea wasn't good. Okay, if you send 5 proposal, only 1 is rejected, another 4 they give some comments. Okay, 1 is totally rejected, another 4 somewhere the reviewer going to give some comments. Reality, rejected proposal worth of, they are saying 10 lakh of free advice. Okay, so who going to give advice to us? Okay, this reviewer spent a lot of time in my proposal, in my work. They give comments. These are worthwhile comments. Okay, if I'm going to incorporate the comments, there are a lot of chance for getting funding in some other agencies. Reality, the success rate is higher for proposal turned in second time. Okay, if I'm going to send a proposal and they're giving comments, again I'm going to send the proposal, again they're giving comments, means the success rate is double time. Okay, higher. Okay, the success rate on third submission is almost 1. See, if reviewer saying even paper also no, if I'm sending the paper and reviewer comments is coming, again I'm sending, again reviewer comments coming, so it almost my paper going to be published. The third reviewer say okay, everything is correct, it can be published. So that is the possibility of modifying and improvising our proposal. So rejection is mandatory. Everyone has to face rejection. That only going to lead us to the success. Oh, the effect of writing proposal never wasted. So that is the point I have to emphasize here. Okay, whenever you're going to write the proposal, that is the effort is never wasted. Cannot get a grant unless you write one. Okay, without writing and sending the proposal, how are you going to get the grant? You have to write at least 10 times. You have to write, and that has to go and get comments from the referee, and you have to improvise that. Professionally fulfilling. Okay, I'm the education background, I'm doing some research, so I should be, at the end of the day, I should be sleep nicely that I did some worthful work to the country and society. So that should be needed for all of us, making a peaceful life. Request you to focus your thoughts, so my thoughts become reality. Armed with reviewer comments, second proposal always stronger. Okay, if you get the comments, that is the good sign of your proposal will be accepted in the future. Qualities of FT proposal, see, quality, the idea, and its appeal to the, see, yeah, the way I'm writing, the idea should be appeal to the funding agencies. Ability to communicate, very important. That's what all about we are seeing so many slides. Okay, communication, clarity, This all should be needed for funding the proposal. If a proposal rejected, do not give up. Success means having 1/3 grants funded. Okay, so 1/3 of the grants are funded. A rejected proposal does not always mean the idea was rejected. It's not so. Okay, that reviewer is not understood your idea. So if one is rejected means don't think that really that idea is bad. Some other reviewer maybe accept your idea. Obtain reviewer comments, re-evaluate, revise and resubmit. Carefully use reviews and revise submission. Look for other potential funders. Very important. If this funding agency rejects, take all their comments and revise and submit to some other funding agencies. So last I have to tell this, as I'll be telling this with the side, somewhere edges and edges ends, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one I less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So what it means, so always the people will say there will be already there is a path and you are going in the path means there is no meaningless. Okay, you have to create your own path. Okay, if there are two roads, I have to take the path which is less traveled. Okay, so in that, why it is less traveled? Because that path having a lot of hurdles. That's why people are choosing that path. People are choosing the other path which is having no hurdles, very smooth, and they can go smoothly. Okay, majority 80% of people choose the smooth path only. Only 20% of people choose the rough path because they only travel there and they are going to create their own path. So the success rate will be very high. If I'm going to choose the hardest path means the reach, the visibility, the success will be very high. So we have to keep in mind that whenever there is a challenge, immediately we have to go and accept the challenge. So if you're going to accept the challenge, your life become meaningful, fashionable and excitement, everything flows, and you're going to live a wonderful life, and your success will be very high. So that is ultimately I have to tell for all the participants here, whoever want to do the research, choose the challenging path. That is the focus of this presentation. And these are some of the books what in the people told that books are published, so people can refer this book for your college if you are in the textile and the costume background. And this is apart from this, I have my own consultancy. I am offering this kind of courses to the people to share my knowledge, industry expertise. Okay, so apart from being a head of the department, I am finding time to dealing with kind of short courses to the public or other college students, other people, to enhance their knowledge and skills to become employable in the apparel industry. And this is my numbers and email ID and so on. So thank you so much for giving a wonderful opportunity to interact with you all. Now the forum is open for question and answer.
Thank you, sir, for your session. Any questions, participants?
Good evening, sir. Thank you for a wonderful presentation and all the insight that you have given us. Sir, I got into the link 10 minutes late, and I'm very curious to know about the spear deck which I missed on. Can you please just tell me once?
Yeah. Thank you so much. At least you asked what is all about. Okay, so I just see this. These tools are there are so many tools. We have to use one by one, and you have to be familiar with that, and then you can use for the students. Just I show how I am creating that tools. Okay, so all the tools, whatever you're going to deal with now, you have to create your PPT in Google Slides. That is a mandatory requirement. I'm going to show the thing. So this is Google slide. So I'm going to make my PPT in the Google slide. Okay, so that is the first requirement, and you can see in the screen add-ons. It is visible, add-ons.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yeah, you have to click the add-ons. So already Peer Deck Google slide on. I already created, and it is in my add-ons. Okay, you can add on so many things, like there are so many tools. Okay, you can insert so many tools in this add-ons. Okay, already Peer Deck is in my drive, so I'm going to take that. So you're going to get Peer Deck page here, and there are so many options like ask questions to a student. Like if in the text form, whatever the slide I've shown, it is on the text form. Okay, if you want choices, you click that. If you want numbering, you click that. If you want website, you click that. You want to draw something, click that. Okay, click on. Okay, suppose for this slide, I want to ask some questions. No, click this text down. Now it is adding interactive questions. Then you can ask questions when this slide is going on, and people will answer. Okay, in that way it works. Okay, so if you're going to add interactive sections, in the bottom of the slide there will be a logo, Peer Deck logo. So it means that that slide having questions and answering part. Okay, so likewise, whichever slide you want, you can add interactive layouts. Once you do this, then go for start section. Now there are two options: student based activity and instructor. Now click this instructor based activity. So now you get the code here. Okay, this code you have to give to the students by asking them to open a joinpd.com in the browser, and that joinpd.com take to this code, and you have to enter the code, and students will visible the PPT. Okay, so like this, we have to open this. Okay, now we can see. Now the code is TIBHLH. Okay, so I'm going to create joinpd.com. Sorry, what is the code? TIBHLH. TIBHLH. So now students having this page. Now you have to skip, and this is student mode. Okay. So once I'm going to change the slide here. Here also the slide going to be changed. Okay. Now you can answer. Like what are the various funding agencies? Like this, you're going to answer. That will be displayed in my screen. Okay, I can see all the answers, so what the people are giving. So likewise, I can make interactive sections with the students. The students will not get bored. Okay, so this all based on the practice. I've told some points, but you have to practice on your own. So for familiarizing this thing, I took 3 or 4 days, because suddenly we will not get the things. Okay, we have to again practice, and we have to use phone and laptop and see how the things are happening. Then you will be familiar. Then we can go to the students. In this way, you can have different add-ons to make class interactive.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, my question is, as you said that for getting a grant, how to write a proposal. My question is for doing a PhD in the literature, in the research proposal, what should be the minimum number of literature review, and what should be the minimum number of words?
No, it's not so. There is no any limitations of minimum number of literature. The point is that whatever literature you're quoting, that should be in sequence, should have relate with each other. Nowadays, whenever I'm going to write thesis or paper, I'm going to take last 5 years literature. I'm not taking more than 5 years. The last 5 years literature is sufficient. So in the 5 years, how many work can be done by in my area is the matter. In that which are relevant, that I'm going to make in sequential order. Okay. If I start from my research on 2020, from 2015, I'm going to list out the areas literature that done in this area in sequential 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 in sequential manner, and finally I'm going to end up with what are the limitations. For that limitations, I'm going to do my research in this area to overcome that limitation. This is the way to fill the gap.
And is there any minimum number of words also which is to be taken into account while writing a literature research proposal?
No, not so. So I told that as smaller as possible. See, there is no minimum or maximum. If a proposal going to have only 30 pages also, that is sufficient if the matter is very clear.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I'm like out of curiosity, I'm just asking what all software do you use apart from this peer app, peer deck? So that is like very good to like the new things appears in our screen. So you can tell, so can our student can be like more interactive.
So you want to know what are the various add-ons?
No. I think what all other software do you use for the interaction with your student, or maybe, I mean, so that so that we can use that.
See, we sometimes use mind tool, polls. These are the things mostly used for creating that poll and find out what students' interest and some mind tool and so on. So if you go into this slide, slide is visible. Get add-ons. You click, you can have so many tools here. So you can try one by one. Okay, so each and every add-on you click, they themselves given the theory part, what is all about, what is the benefit of using these add-ons, everything is given clearly. So you try each and every add-ons and see whether it is going to be useful for your students or not. Okay, mostly peer deck is mostly used, and this Nearpad for Google Slides also very much used. So like this people are using. Okay, so you try these add-ons. There are so many tools will be displayed in this slides. You can choose whatever you want.
Great, sir.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Like, it's possible that like once the PhD has been submitted, thesis has been submitted, after that, can something similar to it be sent as a proposal for grant for further studies?
Yeah, always that is possible. See, PhD, you are submitted thesis and you're going to awarded by doctorate. So from your thesis, you maybe find out still there are some, always the thesis we maybe mention future scope of work, like in that thing we maybe listed 4 or 5 points. No, that 4 or 5 points will be put up for proposal for funding agencies for getting the fund.
Okay.
So this PhD will be preliminary work. So
great.
that will going to show the funding agency. So already I did this much, and there is a scope for doing this, and for that we need funding.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Any
So
more questions?
my contact is visible, no? So people can make note of my contact. If you have any queries and doubts, you can personally mail to me and talk to me. So I'm always helpful to share my knowledge to the people. Thank you so much for this institute and Kavita Chaudhary for giving me a wonderful opportunity to interact more than 123 people all over India. So looking forward in future to collaborate with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your very informative and focused session, sir. Your topic was especially very helpful to those doing a research and especially all the guiding researchers also. And I'm sure all participants really enjoyed your presentation on writing a winning proposal, which included a problem faced by researchers and title of the proposal and preliminary issues related to proposal writing, and a lot many topics in detail that you covered. We really appreciate you making a time in your busy schedule to speak to our participants and part of our faculty development program. Thanks again for your truly memorable session.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank
Kavita.
you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.